Hi there, folks. I'm Capt.Monte with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report. The bull reds and slot reds are gathering up right now. We have been catching them over here on the side of McDermott, right through here on these rock piles and pilings. There have been also a few black drum through here. Starting to catch the smaller male sheephead also, so they're starting to trickle in. Out here in front, there is a barge out here that's pulling all this structure out in front of Fina Docks. So they're kind of keeping this off limits right now. If you can get in here close to that barge without getting run off, the bull reds have been holding off onto this corner of this dock right here. But they're not wanting anybody to come in there when they got divers in the water. So this kind of puts us off of limits off that area. Over here by this green buoy on this other point in Port Aransas, there have been redfish hanging off through here also in that 25 foot of water. We've been using cut menhaden or cut crab or even cut ladyfish or cut menhaden. It's all been working real well. You kind of put on your depth finder and you can kind of see that school hanging off on this corner. If the seas are right and the jetties aren't too rough, we've been knocking out a lot of good fish out here on both sides of the jetty still. There's been slot reds, there have been bull reds. Been catching some good trout out here also on live shrimp. If you got your favorite plastic lure you like to throw, all up along these rocks have been holding pretty decent fish. There have been Spanish mackerel popping out here in front. There have been sharks out here. We've been catching a few red snapper that are right there on that 15-inch mark. So just make sure if you do get them red snappers that you are abiding by the law that you are at 15 inches. There have been mangrove snappers out here also. Live shrimp seems to be the ticket. We've been sitting in that 25 to 30 foot of water, dropping down dead baits. Has been the ticket, depending where that current's at. Been using about a 1.5 ounce to a 3 ounce weight right on top of the hook using a knocker rig. But there have been good fish all out here at the jetties when it's not too rough. Coming back in, over here on this shipwreck out in front of the lighthouse, there have been a few sheephead, been the smaller males, but there have been redfish on this also. Live shrimp has been the ticket. You can free line them or use a popping cork over the top of this wreck. Has been working the best. We've also been coming over here back behind these houses with our trolling motors. You cannot tie up to the docks, but you can use free line shrimp. There have been redfish through here. There have been a few trout. And there have also been some black drum hanging off behind these houses along these granite rocks all through here. If you come on down towards the point of Mustang, they've got this rock quarry that's running along this island through here. There have been some slot reds and bull reds hanging through here and speckled trout all along this rock pile right through here. Using live shrimp has been working the best. You can also use cut mullet. That's also been catching them. Over here at the point of Pelican, there's some scattered rocks out here in the deeper water. If you'll put your fish finder on, you'll see these rocks out here. Early in the morning, there have been some pretty good speckled trout hanging off all around this island right now. Up closer, up on these rocks through here that are exposed, there have been a few redfish and there have been mangrove snapper hanging on them rocks. Pretty good fishing through here early in the mornings. The only thing is, fishing this ICW, this ship channel through here, just be careful of the ships. When you see them big ships coming through, you might want to pull out in deeper water because they make a big wake, and we're all out here to have a good time and be safe. So if you see them big ships coming out, you might want to go out there in that deeper water, let them go by, and then get back up there close to them rocks and shoreline. As the sun comes up, we've been coming through here through Piper Channel. There have been pretty good drum still hanging off into the Piper Channel all the way back to the houses. Both sides using, I like using the pink shrimp bites with a piece of dead shrimp right on a lead head, and that's been catching pretty good black drum. As the sun comes up, sometimes you can see the school moving, and sometimes you got a blind cast, but the fish are through here. This little cut that comes back around to go into Coyote, depending where that tide's at, if it's got a slow moving tide, then redfish have been kind of hanging off and black drum hanging off against these oyster reefs right through here. If you come back towards the houses and come back into this gut that goes towards Coyote and Pelone Island, there have been good redfish back here. There have been black drum. This is all skinny water, a lot of oyster reefs. So those of you in those skinny water boats, this is all good area to work right back through here. This time of the season, and fish are moving around, coming into Corpus Christi Bayou and coming down here towards the old terminal. This old terminal has got some rocks in between both sides, but all this area right through here on both sides of this old terminal has been holding black drum and redfish. If you get out here by the Klondikes in this area through here, live shrimp, or if you got live piggy perch, there have been redfish and trout hanging in through here. If you've got some live shrimp under a popping cork or dead shrimp with the lead head, there have been black drum also hanging on these oyster reefs. If you get up close to the islands and you got cut bait, soak them baits right up against them islands close. And redfish have been up tight. So all this area through here have been holding pretty decent fish. Those of you that like to trout fish, all around California Hole has been working real well also. Popping corks and shrimp has been catching a lot of short trout, but there have been some decent trout all around California Hole, and working these back flats through here have been holding. So you can get out your drift sock and start making long drifts all the way back across from Yucca Cut and just come on back around towards the Klondikes. This area's been holding trout, and you'll get some redfish. If you got shrimp, you're going to catch a lot of shorts, but at the same time, you're going to wind up catching some pretty good ones. You just got to stay at it and keep on the move, and then when you do find that particular better sized fish, put your power poles down and try to get you a few more out of it before you start your drift again. Those of you that like to fish Corpus, still from the Lexington all the way down to the L-head, all these rocks through here have been holding black drum. There have been speckled trout mixed in with a few redfish. This time of the year, I like getting in here and catching a mangrove snapper. Live shrimp, just free line it, or just use a little bitty 3/8 ounce weight right on top of the number 2 Kell hook. I've been catching a lot of mangrove snapper through here mixed in with speckled trout. If the bay is calm, we've been coming out here to the wells and using free line shrimp. All these wells right now, they've been holding bull reds, they've been holding sharks, they've been holding a lot of speckled trout. Remember that speckled trout size limit has gone back to its normal size, which is 15 to 25 inches. You're allowed 5 trout. So get out here on these good calm days and work these wells out here. I know there's been a few triple tail even being caught out here. So live shrimp has been working the best, using the number 3 Kell hook on just a free line with the leader and a swivel. That's been working the best. If you go around these wells with your depth finder, your fish finder with your trolling motor, and you go around it, you don't see anything, kind of keep working that well until you see the bulk of the fish. Once you see that screen light up, set it on spot lock, start slinging live shrimp at them, and you'll get them fired up. There's a lot of trout out here during this time of the season. A lot of these wells got rock piles that extend off of that platform. If you can kind of distinguish that, A lot of them come right towards Corpus, and they'll go out, 100, 150, 200 yards. And I've been catching a lot of good fish off these rock piles. Corpus Bay's, 14 foot, and then all of a sudden these rock piles, they'll come all the way up to 9 to 10 foot. So that just is a change in that depth with structure there, and a lot of times there've been good fish on them. So if you haven't fished Corpus Bay, pick you a good calm day, get you some shrimp, and go out there and see what you can do with it. Thanks for watching. I'm Captain Monte Graham.